a scenario where a team of designers gather to ideate environmentally friendly transport solutions for a city. One suggests electric buses, parking, and hour-long discussions around electric vehicles. But until this point, where this intern, who arrived very late, asked this question: have you considered bicycles? Until the intern's suggestions, all the ideas were anchored toward the salient characteristics of an electric motor, which was the first proposal. In the world of design, it is a widespread phenomenon where designers experience difficulty in coming up with ideas because the pre-exposed examples or preconceived ideas limits their ideation space. In the early 90s, Jansen and Smith coined this word design fixation, which means the blind adherence to set of concepts or ideas that limits the output of the conceptual space. In the initial stages of the process, it is common for designers to gather inspiration by conducting precedent studies, creating mood board with external stimuli to inspire themselves to come up with new ideas. However, exposure to previous solutions during this process might be a cause for design fixation. And previous studies have mentioned that exposure to similar examples of a solution that you're working on have mixed effects on the creativity. Today, the generative AI has been heralded as a tool for augmenting creativity and improving divergent thinking. Publicly available AI image generators such as Midjourney, DALL-E, ArtBrader, Stable Diffusion have made it possible for designers to turn their thoughts into high-quality visuals quickly and at a low cost. However, there's lack of empirical evidence around how generative AI can affect creativity. In this work, we were interested in seeing how images generated by AI affects design fixation and divergent thinking in a visual ideation task. I'm Samangi Wadinambiarachchi. On behalf of my co-authors, I present our work, The Effects of Generative AI on Design Fixation and Divergent Thinking. We conducted an experiment with 60 participants who were assigned to one of the three conditions: baseline, which means no inspiration support; image search participants who had access to Google image search; or Gen AI, the participants who used Midjourney, an AI image generation tool. We gave participants a design brief with an example to create sketches for a chatbot avatar with specific characteristics. All the participants were given 20 minutes to complete the task, and after the design task was completed, we conducted a semi-structured interview with the participants. We used expert ratings and clustering activities to quantify the sketches for measuring creativity. We used design fixation score, fluency, variety, and originality as the dependent variables to understand how generative AI affects design fixation and divergent thinking. The design fixation score was calculated based on the presence or absence of features in an example avatar, and two raters assessed the sketches. Fluency was measured by counting the number of sketches produced by each participant. Variety was assessed by grouping similar sketches into clusters, with participants receiving a variety score based on the number of clusters their sketches belonged to. Originality was determined by calculating the proportion of other participants who did not have the same idea as a given sketch. We adopted a mixed method approach to explore our data. For quantitative analysis, we used Bayesian statistical models to examine the relationship between the independent and the dependent variables. We also used Brown and Clark's reflexive thematic analysis approach to analyze interview data to understand participants' approaches to prompt creation and ideation in each condition. Our findings indicated that exposure to AI-generated images led to higher design fixation and lower fluency, variety, and originality compared to the baseline condition. The model for design fixation indicated that both Gen AI and image search had a determinal effect, with Gen AI having higher probability for leading to higher design fixation than the baseline. The model for fluency showed that both Gen AI and image search had a negative impact on fluency, with image search having more pronounced effect. The model for variety revealed that both Gen AI and image search had a negative effect on variety, with Gen AI having a higher probability of having a negative total effect on variety's output. The model for originality indicated that both Gen AI and image search had a minor negative effect on originality, with Gen AI having a higher probability for a negative effect. The correlation analysis showed a moderate positive correlation between design fixation score of participant sketches and the design fixation score of the AI images immediately preceding each sketch, which means AI-generated images that contained features of the example avatar we provided led to sketches with high design fixation scores. Our qualitative findings revealed that participants often relied on prompts containing keywords copied directly from the design brief or inspired by the example design we provided, leading to AI-generated images that were conceptually similar to the example design. Some participants were either copying partial elements from generated images or they just redrew what they saw as generated images. We observed fixation displacement, where participants were fixated on AI-generated images and copied what they saw, even if it was different from the example design. In this study, we made conclusions of a short-term usage of generative AI on a rapid ideation task. But in the real world, designers may spend longer on ideating about the solutions that AI gave them. And maybe they keep on reflecting on that, maybe incorporate incubation times, or maybe keep on iterating over the sketches over and over again. And this may produce different results from those of our experimental findings. Overall, our study provided empirical evidence on the effects of generative AI and divergent thinking, highlighting the key factors that may induce design fixations and strategies to mitigate this. Also, we highlight the importance to consider factors that might cause design fixation while gaining inspiration from AI tools and potential strategies and direction that can be explored to mitigate design fixation. Do you want to know more about our study and know what we found? Please read our paper.